When Clint Eastwood walked into one of LA's most luxurious restaurants wearing a simple polo shirt and slacks, nobody recognized the legendary actor and director. That's when an arrogant waitress made the biggest mistake of her career, trying to humiliate a man she thought was just an ordinary customer. What she didn't realize was that Clint didn't just have a reservation. He owned the entire restaurant. What happened next became a lesson in respect that the restaurant would never forget. It was a typical Friday evening at the Grand Oak. The recently renovated dining room buzzed with LA's elite, young tech moguls in designer suits, social media influencers capturing their gold leaf desserts, and old money families upholding weekly traditions. Among them sat a man in a gray polo shirt and casual slacks, sipping whiskey at a corner table. Most of the veteran staff knew who he was, of course. 6 months earlier, Clint Eastwood had quietly purchased the Grand Oak. During his regular visits, he instructed the staff to treat him like any other customer. Rachel, the restaurant's newest waitress, didn't know any of this. Fresh from hospitality school and eager to build her food influencer following, she spent her shift alternating between fawning over social media personalities and casting disdainful glances at the casually dressed man in her section. Thomas, the longtime manager, noticed her behavior and watched nervously. He had seen Rachel's dismissive attitude toward other customers before, but this time it was different. Rachel approached Clint's table, her heels clicking against the floor. "Sir, I couldn't help but notice you've been nursing that house whiskey for a while now," she said with a practiced smile. Clint looked up, meeting her gaze with calm. "It's a good whiskey," he replied. Rachel continued, "Perhaps you'd be more comfortable at the bar. We're expecting reserved parties at this table." Miguel, a busboy who admired Clint and recognized him immediately, overheard the exchange. He wanted to intervene but hesitated. Clint's response was simple: "I'm comfortable here." Rachel's practiced smile faltered. She gestured to the menu and said, "Our prices reflect the caliber of our establishment. Perhaps I should explain the menu to you." Clint's voice remained steady. "I'm aware of the prices and the chef's work," he said. Nearby, an older couple shifted uncomfortably, recognizing the look in Clint's eyes. Rachel, however, pressed on. "This isn't some diner off the highway," she said. "This is the Grand Oak. Times have changed, and we have standards." Clint set his whiskey down and reached for his phone. "Jerry, bring me the ownership papers," he said. Rachel's confidence wavered as Clint explained that he had been visiting the Grand Oak for months. "6 months ago, I bought this restaurant," he said. "Not for the prestige, but because it represented something real, treating everyone with respect." By now, the restaurant had fallen silent. Jerry, the accountant, arrived with documents confirming Clint's ownership. Rachel stood frozen, realizing she had insulted not only a customer but also her boss. Clint continued, "Real class isn't about designer labels or social media followers. It's about dignity and respect." He turned to Miguel and asked, "Would you like to train as a waiter?" Miguel nodded eagerly. Clint then addressed Rachel. "You have a choice. You can leave or stay and learn about genuine hospitality from Miguel and the veteran staff." Rachel, humbled, chose to stay. The dining room erupted in applause, not for the celebrity in their midst, but for the lesson they had witnessed. The Grand Oak remains one of LA's finest restaurants, not for its luxury but for its heart. On Friday evenings, you might find a man in a casual polo shirt at his corner table, ensuring that respect and dignity endure.